Welcome to the DIY Honda Garage channel. The diagnostic trouble code DTC P0452 indicates a low voltage condition in the fuel tank pressure FTP sensor circuit on the Honda CRV models from 2017 to 2022. The FTP sensor plays a critical role in monitoring the pressure within the vehicle's fuel tank, providing essential data to the Powertrain Control Module (PCM) for managing fuel vapor emissions and overall vehicle performance. Located in the fuel tank, the FTP sensor detects variations in tank pressure to ensure the vehicle's evaporative emission system (EVAP) operates effectively. When the measured voltage drops below a threshold of 0.3 volts, it triggers this specific DTC. The fault can stem from issues such as poor electrical connections, wire shorts, or a faulty sensor. Proper diagnosis and troubleshooting are essential for maintaining the vehicle's efficiency and compliance with emission standards. The FTP sensor is located inside the fuel tank of the Honda CRV, where it monitors the pressure of vapors present in the tank. Its primary role is to provide crucial data to the Powertrain Control Module, PCM, which manages fuel vapor emissions and optimizes engine performance. This sensor works in conjunction with the vehicle's evaporative emissions control system to prevent fuel vapors from escaping into the atmosphere. If the voltage output from the sensor drops below 0.3 volts, which is considered the malfunction threshold, the PCM recognizes this as a fault and logs the DTC P0452. The accurate function of the FTP sensor is critical to ensure compliance with environmental regulations regarding emissions. There are several potential causes for triggering the DTC P0452, starting with a low voltage condition at the FTP sensor itself. This may indicate a fault in the sensor or in its wiring and connections. Poor electrical connections, such as corroded terminals or loose wires, can lead to an improper voltage reading. In some instances, the FTP sensor itself may be faulty, requiring replacement. Additionally, issues can arise from other components in the evaporative emissions control system that can influence the FTP sensor's readings, further complicating the diagnosis. Careful inspection and testing are required to isolate and confirm these potential causes. The most immediate symptom of DTC P0452 is the illumination of the check engine light on the dashboard, alerting the driver to a potential issue with the vehicle's emissions system. Drivers may also notice a decrease in fuel efficiency, which could be a result of the vehicle attempting to compensate for faults in the fuel management system. Additionally, there may be other indicators, such as an EVAP system warning, that can arise from the compromised functionality of the FTP sensor. If the issue remains unaddressed, there could be further repercussions on engine performance and compliance with emissions standards, necessitating prompt diagnosis and repair. The first step in troubleshooting DTC P0452 involves accessing the vehicle's diagnostic system with the Honda Diagnostic System, HDS. Start by turning the ignition to the on position without running the engine. Once powered up, use HDS to clear any existing DTCs, including P0452. After clearing, turn the vehicle off and then to the on position again. Insert the emergency fuel funnel into the fuel filler neck and check the voltage of the FTP sensor through the HDS. If the sensor's output is less than 0.3 volts, it indicates that conditions match the malfunction threshold and you should proceed to the next troubleshooting step. If not, further investigation into component functionality is required. In this step, after observing the voltage condition, you must validate the issue further. First, remove the emergency fuel funnel from the fuel filler neck. Then, start the engine and allow it to idle for a few minutes. Use the HDS to monitor the onboard diagnostic (OBD) status for DTC P0452 in the DTC menu. If the HDS indicates that the DTC has failed, you have successfully duplicated the failure condition, and you can move on to the next troubleshooting step. However, if the HDS shows a passed status, it could indicate an intermittent failure, and the system may be functioning correctly at that moment. In either case, check the FTP sensor connections and the wiring, as intermittent faults often arise from bad connections. In this troubleshooting step, begin by turning the vehicle off and then disconnecting the FTP sensor's 3P connector. Once disconnected, turn the vehicle to the on position and again use the HDS to check the voltage parameters of the FTP sensor. You will be looking for the same threshold of less than 0.3 volts to determine if the problem persists. If the sensor output remains below this threshold, you will proceed to the subsequent step. Conversely, if the readings indicate a normal voltage level, further investigation is necessary to diagnose other potential issues with the system that could be causing the DTC. For this step, first turn the vehicle off and jump the SCS, service check signal line, using the HDS. Allow this setup to remain for over a minute, ensuring the system is in a diagnostic state. Next, disconnect the PCM, Powertrain Control Module, Connector A, specifically the 51P connector. With the FTP sensor still disconnected, perform a continuity test between two designated test points on the FTP sensor connector, evaluating the connectivity to the body ground. If there is continuity present, it indicates a potential short circuit in the wiring, which should be repaired to ensure proper sensor function. Conversely, if continuity does not exist, it suggests the P-tank wire is intact and may lead you to check for other DTCs or try to substitute a known good PCM. In this step, focus on measuring the voltage between the designated test points in the FTP sensor circuit. Start with the vehicle in the on mode, while the FTP sensor 3P connector remains disconnected. Measure the voltage at terminal number 3 of the FTP sensor connector against the body ground. You are looking for a voltage reading that should be approximately 5.0 volts. If this voltage is present, it confirms that the sensor is indeed faulty and necessitates replacement to restore the circuit's functionality. However, if the voltage reading deviates from this level, proceed to the next troubleshooting step to verify any issues with the VCC6 wire. In the final troubleshooting step, start by turning the vehicle off once more. Repeat the procedure by jumping the SCS line with the HDS and waiting for more than 1 minute. Disconnect the PCM connector A 51P and prepare to perform a continuity check. Now, connect the FTP sensor 3P connector number 3 to the body ground using a jumper wire. Confirm continuity between PCM connector A pin number 29 and body ground. If continuity is found, it confirms the VCC6 wire is intact, and further investigation into the DTC should be pursued via service manuals or perhaps substituting in a known good PCM if necessary. If continuity does not exist, you will need to repair any open in the VCC6 wire running between the PCM and the FTP sensor. After all repairs to address DTC P0452 have been performed, it is necessary to execute a final verification of the repair. Start by conducting a road test of the vehicle to ensure that it operates normally without triggering the check engine light. During this test, monitor the system for any return of DTC P0452 or any related codes. After the road test, check the system readiness, especially ensuring that the EVAP system is functioning correctly before clearing any stored DTCs. If all conditions prove satisfactory, clear the DTCs using the HDS leading to a successful resolution of the problem. Document all findings and repairs to maintain accurate service records for future reference. To prevent issues related to DTC P0452 and ensure the longevity of the fuel tank pressure sensor and the evap system, regular preventive maintenance is crucial. Begin by routinely inspecting the wiring harness associated with the FTP sensor to check for fraying or wear that could lead to voltage issues. Additionally, consistently monitor the connections to the FTP sensor and the PCM for corrosion or looseness, as these can be sources of intermittent faults. Keeping an eye on vehicle fuel efficiency can also provide early warnings of emission system issues. Sudden changes may indicate an FTP sensor problem. By actively monitoring and maintaining these components, you can reduce the likelihood of encountering DTC P0452 in the future. In conclusion, diagnosing and resolving DTC P0452 is essential for maintaining the emission system's functionality on your Honda CRV from 2017 to 2022. Understanding the role of the FTP sensor and its critical connectivity to the PCM is paramount. Often, issues arise from wiring problems or faults within the sensor itself, so addressing these thoroughly during troubleshooting is key. Regular inspections and preventive maintenance can help avoid future occurrences of this DTC. By taking proactive steps, you can ensure efficient vehicle operation and compliance with emissions regulations, ultimately contributing to a more sustainable automotive environment. Please like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.